The train is leaving the station. It's got oranges. Welcome to Minute Maid Park. It's the Red Sox and the Houston Astros in exhibition baseball. Hi again, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo, as always, joined by Jerry Remy. Welcome to Red Sox baseball. Well, Jerry, the Red Sox have left Fort Myers, and I imagine that after a long spring training, the Red Sox are glad to be back in a Major League Park.
Well, they are, Don. You know, it's been a long time down in Fort Myers since probably the middle of February for the pitchers especially. And, you know, it gets a little bit old toward the end. It's a great place to train, but the fact is it's nice to break out and get closer to your opening day, which is, of course, Friday in Texas. And tonight they play the Houston Astros in a big league stadium. It brings a little bit more energy to everybody. They feel like they're close to the opening of the season. They feel like they're in a big league ballpark. It's just a totally different atmosphere than what it was the last couple of days, the last 3 or 4 days down in Fort Myers. So Josh Beckett goes on the mound tonight. Hopefully he'll pitch a little bit better than he has the last couple of times out. Try to get his act together before his first start of the season.
Josh so far has been 0-4 during spring training. He looks to turn it around tonight against the Houston Astros and Brad Mills. We're back with the first pitch right after this. Nissan, Sylvania HD LCD TVs, Taco Bell, Eastern Bank, and by Southwest Airlines. Hey, good evening once again, everybody. Welcome back to Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. Sure, I think we've been here 4 times over the last 10 years, and I don't ever remember the roof being open before.
No, really beautiful night here in Texas, in Houston. I would say probably about maybe 60 degrees, a little bit cooler than we're accustomed to down in Fort Myers, but a very comfortable night. And I agree with you, Don. I don't think I've ever seen the roof open here.
Well, Brad Mills has, that's for sure, as he is in his second year at the helm of these Houston Astros, and they're hoping for a better year this year. As Brad Mills and, of course, Terry Francona got together before the game, and two close friends here going head-to-head at the end of spring training, the last exhibition game of the spring, as the Red Sox will wrap up their spring. And will stay, of course, in Texas and head on over to Arlington to get ready for the 3-game series against the Texas Rangers, as the Red Sox will work out here tomorrow morning before departing for Arlington, and then head over there and get ready for the day game and opening day from Arlington. As the Red Sox wrap it up here today, they have their regulars in the lineup tonight, as you might imagine. And Josh Beckett on the hill for the Red Sox tonight is trying to get his first win of the exhibition season. Of course, Beckett will not pitch in the series against Texas. His first outing will go against the Cleveland Indians in the new configuration of the Red Sox rotation for this year. Beckett right now slotted in the number 4 spot in the Red Sox rotation. Astros are taking the field. As they do, let's check out the Red Sox starting 9, brought to you by New England Chevy dealers. Jacoby Ellsbury leads it off in center field with Dustin Pedroia at second base. Carl Crawford in left field. Adrian Gonzalez at first base bats 4th. Kevin Youkilis at third base with David Ortiz, the DH. J.D. Drew in right field bats 7th. Jared Saltalamacchia does the catching, bats 8th. And Marco Scutero at shortstop bats 9th. On the mound tonight for the Houston Astros is Nelson Figueroa. He has spent time with 6 different Major League teams, including the Astros, Arizona, Philadelphia, Milwaukee, Pittsburgh, and the Mets. 137 career games in the majors, 60 starts total, and is the number 5 man in this Astros rotation to begin the year. Look at his spring training numbers. 5 starts for him, 2-1 with a 4.95 ERA. Claimed off waivers by Houston from Philadelphia in July of last season.
Let's take a look at the defense for the Astros tonight. They'll have Chris Johnson at third base, Angel Sanchez, the shortstop, Bill Hall at second, and Brett Wallace, the first baseman. Left to right, Carlos Lee, Michael Bourne, and Hunter Pence. And J.R. Tolles doing the catching for Nelson Figueroa.
Umpire crew tonight, David Rackley is in behind the plate calling the balls and strikes for the 4-man crew. Manny Gonzalez at first base, Clint Fagan at second base, and Steven Barga is the umpire at third. Well, Jacoby Ellsbury, who's had a fantastic spring, leads it off for the Red Sox. Very healthy and really making a statement during the spring as you look at his spring training numbers. .333, 3 home runs, 8 runs batted in. Jerry, we talked about it a lot during the spring. I think headed in some figured that the best Red Sox lineup would have Jacoby Ellsbury at the top of it, but where he only played 18 games last year, it's probably realistic that perhaps he may not start the year there this year. But he had a great spring and proved that he was 100%, and he will be at the top of the Red Sox order, appears on opening day.
Yeah, I think, Don, one of the concerns the Red Sox had was obviously the amount of time that Ellsbury lost last season, and would that set him back at all? But it has not. He came into camp in excellent shape, and right now in that leadoff spot, and that's where he expects to stay for Terry Francona.
He has really made a statement here during the spring. On the ground left side, Sanchez from deep short, no chance with Ellsbury running.
Anytime Jacoby Ellsbury makes a shortstop go that far to his right, they've got no chance at all to throw him out. So Ellsbury improves on that .333 spring training batting average. There's Angel Sanchez deep in the outfield, makes a throw to first base. It's probably one he'd better off putting in his back pocket. He had no chance.
So Ellsbury at first base. Dustin Pedroia stands in on the right side. And there for strike one from Nelson Figueroa. Dustin hitting at .321 during the spring. Home run, 5 runs batted in. And very healthy throughout the entire spring, despite the fact he has a screw in his foot. He really showed no ill effects at all during the spring. Got around very well. No problem with his range of motion or range at all at second base. Moving around quite well. There goes Ellsbury at first. The pitch is low, and the throw not nearly in time. Well, Bill Hall off the bag on the throw from the catcher, J.R. Tolles.
Jacoby picking up stolen base number 2. Did not run a lot during spring training, but this game before the opener, let's try it. He makes it with no problem at all. See the 7 stolen bases last season before being injured. As I mentioned, the second of the spring.
That's 7 steals in a total of 18 games. And 4 of those 7 came in one game against New York. And now Tolles going to head out and talk to Figueroa.
Kind of a different feeling today, wasn't it, Don? It's almost like a regular season game.
Yes.
The pregame activities, the meeting with Terry Francona, all those different types of things that we do on a normal basis during the regular season. Much different than down in Fort Myers.
And we didn't have to drive anywhere in our car together.
No.
2-2 to Pedroia. And a swatted foul off to the right.
And that's always a good thing.
Ellsbury at second base. Nobody out here in the top half of the first inning. David Ortiz in the lineup here tonight in Houston, Texas. David batting in the 6th spot. Look out. Roy almost dove into that.
That's just a changeup that got away from Figueroa. You see 78 miles an hour up and in on Dustin Pedroia.
Carl Crawford batting in the 3 spot tonight for Boston. Waits on deck. The Astros will open their season on the road against the Philadelphia Phillies. Ball 4 and Pedroia down to first base. First 2 have reached for the Red Sox here in the first inning.
Most of the pundits expecting a very long season for the Houston Astros again this year. Got rid of a couple of real big names last year. Of course, Lance Berkman going.
2 on, nobody out. And here's Carl Crawford. There's strike 1 from Nelson Figueroa. Nelson Figueroa, originally a Mets product, 30th round pick in 1995. When he started to move around, he was traded to the Diamondbacks. I mentioned off the top, spent time with 6 different major league teams. This is down and into Crawford, and it's 2-1. 36 years old from Brooklyn, New York. Towards right center. This will get down for a base hit. Ellsbury coming around from second base. He'll score, and the Red Sox take a 1-0 lead.
Now, Kyle Crawford getting much media attention returning to Houston today. Of course, he's from this area. He was bombarded by questions from journalists prior to the ball game tonight, and delivers with the base hit to drive in the run for the Red Sox. So Jacoby Ellsbury steals second base and scores on the base hit by Kyle Crawford.
Yeah, Crawford was 70 friends and family here in attendance at the ballpark tonight. Born in Houston, resides in Houston during the offseason. First and third, nobody out. Adrian Gonzalez sends a fly ball to short left. Carlos He got a late break and can't get there. It lands fair. Scoring from third is Pedroia, and the Red Sox take a 2-0 lead. We got a late break and then kind of let up, and it lands fair.
And the Boo Birds out very early here in Houston. They felt like Carlos Lee should have made that play, and I thought he was gonna. That ball was up there a long time, but he did not show a lot of great speed getting to this ball and just came up short on it. Lets it roll around for a while, and by that time, the Red Sox pick up another run.
2 on, still nobody out. And Kevin Youkilis is the batter. Yuka, quiet spring offensively as he hit 189 during the spring. No homers and 4 runs batted in. Said he felt good, worked on some things, and not concerned about the spring training numbers. Certainly all eyes on him coming in, as well as Dustin Pedroia coming off the thumb injury and subsequent surgery last year, the end of last year, and felt very strong, worked hard during the offseason, in great shape coming into the spring. To center field, Michael Bourne, the speedster, coming in to make the grab for the first out. So finally, Figueroa able to record an out here in the first inning.
Excellent jump by Michael Bourne in center field. Gold Glove winner. Makes it look easy. That ball was sinking by Kevin Youkilis, and there's Kevin's reaction to it. Too much speed out there for you, Kevin.
Bourne, the former Philly, has got tons of speed. And able to make that catch. First out here of the first inning. Runners at first and second. Here's Big Papi. 263 spring with a home run, 6 runs batted in. Into somewhat of a shift here. Sanchez stays on the left side of the infield with a runner at second. Jerry, it looked like the Red Sox trying to avoid what had happened each of the last 2 years for David Ortiz as far as his slow starts. He took a lot more bats during this last spring training, made more road trips than he has in the past, trying to avoid that again this year.
Yeah, it's a conscious effort by Ortiz. You know, probably something he thought about during the offseason. What can I do differently in spring training to try to avoid a bad April? And one of those things that he came up with was getting more at bats during spring training. Working closely with Dave Magadan, the hitting coach.
David still able to get to where he needed to be by year's end last year. Better than 30 home runs and 100 RBIs.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Ortiz have the green light here, 3-0.
Crawford at second, Gonzalez at first, 1 down. He takes and he takes strike 1. J.D. Drew waits on deck. Ball 4, second walk of his first inning allowed by Figueroa. Bases loaded for the Red Sox, and visit to the mound as it'll be a different looking opening day for the Astros, no doubt about it. Roy Oswalt, who is of course the Astros opening day starter the last 8 years, was traded to the Philadelphia Phillies, so a different situation there for them.
Yeah, Brett Myers gets the call on opening day.
And Brad Mills certainly hoping to get off to a better start this year than they did last year. Took a long time for him to get his first win at the helm of the Astros. As you mentioned, it could be a long year here in Houston. Here comes J.D. Drew. And 7th in the Red Sox order tonight. If we look ahead to opening day in Texas, and the Red Sox dealing with C.J. Wilson, you wonder which lefties may not be in that starting lineup.
Well, if I was to make a guess right now, I'd say J.D. Drew probably will not be in the starting lineup. I think Mike Cameron will get the start on opening day. I think David Ortiz will be in the starting lineup. And I think the top of the lineup will look exactly the way it does tonight with Ellsbury, Pedroia, and Crawford. The only difference is Youkilis will move up to that cleanup spot and flip-flop with Gonzalez.
J.D. Drew 1 for 6 in his career against C.J. Wilson. A lot of guys who have some tough numbers on the left side against Wilson. He's a very good pitcher. And the Red Sox will be dealing with him on opening day. There's Boston going with their own very good lefty in John Lester. Just inside. And Figueroa wanted it. He falls behind 3-1.
Well, he wants it, but he hasn't been that close this inning. He's been all over the place, and it's tough to get close calls like that.
Bases loaded, 1 out. And he walks in a run. Third walk of the inning. Here comes the third run of the inning for the Red Sox as Crawford scores. 17 balls, 12 strikes so far for Nelson Figueroa. Here is Jared Saltalamacchia, 8th member of the Red Sox to bat here in the top half of the first inning. This one in the air, foul and out of play. We saw some good numbers for Saltalamacchia during the spring, 364 average for the Red Sox catcher. On the ground, back up the middle. Figueroa couldn't get it. It's in the center. And from third comes Gonzalez. David Ortiz going to try and score. No throw. And the Red Sox lead it 5-0. Figueroa had the best opportunity back at him. Couldn't grab it. And 2 more runs come in. Red Sox to put a 5 spot on the board. Still just 1 out.
Now they had a chance here for a 1-2-3 double play. Instead it gets by Figueroa and into center field. Saltalamacchia throughout his career has had very good success against Figueroa. And that continues in this ball game tonight.
2 on, 1 out. Marco Scutaro, 9th member of the Red Sox to bat here in the top of the first inning. A 3-11 spring for Scutaro, the home run, and 4 runs batted in. They notice Marco Scutaro wearing the number 10 in the game tonight. Red Sox made a few changes numbers-wise. This line is short and will not be a double play. J.D. Drew just able to get back to the bag. All thought they had him, but as it is, Scudero's out number 2.
Line shot, and at that point it did look like they had him. And they did have him.
That's why it looked that way.
Yeah, certainly did, right there. Unless he's not tagging the bag. That was a big-time missed call.
So Ellsbury, who started this inning with a base hit, stolen base, and a scored run, bats for the second time. But the number changes for the Red Sox. Players and staff will be donning new uniform numbers, and begins tonight. Saw Marco Scudero wearing number 10. He's formerly number 16. Dennis Reyes will wear number 59. He was 44 during the spring. We'll cover more of it when we come back. The inning finally ends. Red Sox score 5 times, lead at 5-0. On top as the Astros come to bat. In the bottom of the first inning, Michael Bourne leads it off in center field. Angel Sanchez at shortstop bats second. Hunter Pence is in right field. Carlos Lee in left field. Brett Wallace is at first base with old friend Bill Hall at second base batting sixth. Joe Inglet is the DH seventh. Chris Johnson, the son of Ron Johnson, first base coach for the Red Sox, is at third base. And J.R. Tolles does the catching. He bats ninth. It is Texas-born Josh Beckett on the mound here for the Red Sox tonight. Born in Spring, Texas, resides in Petula, Texas during the offseason. His 6th start of the spring, as you can see, 0-4 with a 6.64 earned run average. Opponent's inning at 3:14 against Beckett. Seemed to run into trouble each time in the 5th inning of his outings. And looking to finish off strong here with his final tune-up for the regular season. Strike one to Michael Bourne. Just to finish up on the number changes for the Red Sox. Dan Wheeler was wearing 35 during the spring. Actually, was wearing 36 during the spring. He's now going to wear 35. And bench coach DeMarlo Hale will now wear number 22. He used to wear number 35. Third base coach Tim Bogar will wear number 17. He used to be number 10. Scudero now has 10. So there you go, Joe.
Very confusing, Don.
I know.
Confusing here early in this ball game.
In the air to left. Crawford is there. And he puts it away for out number 1.
Let's take a look at the Red Sox defense for tonight. Kevin Youkilis will be at third base. Marco Scudero, the shortstop. Justin Pedroia at second, and Adrian Gonzalez, the first baseman. Left to right, Kyle Crawford, Jacoby Ellsbury, and J.D. Drew. And Jared Saltalamacchia doing the catching for Josh Beckett.
One out in the first inning. Angel Sanchez, the batter. And he takes strike one from Beckett. That was at 95.
Now, you haven't changed your number, have you?
No, it's because I don't wear a number.
Well, you have Nesson on your shirt, so that has not changed.
It's the same one. And we were able to coordinate all spring training. We never had a mess up or mishaps. We always had the same shirt on all the time. Curveball that time snapped off, fooled Sanchez. So now we're in green, and this will be the last time we wear these shirts until it gets a little warmer.
Yeah, you know, tomorrow basically is going to be spent ironing all our clothing, our suits.
I don't know what it is about Florida, but every time we leave Florida, it is the most wrinkled my suits get all year.
That's the humidity.
Yeah.
It's the humidity. They sit in that suitcase all day long, and the humidity gets them.
So we'll spend the day tomorrow after the workout getting ready to iron for the entire Texas series. Ooh, up and in, and they got him. 93-mile-an-hour fastball hits Sanchez.
Well, we saw Beckett hit a couple of guys the last time that he pitched in a spring training game. This time he goes up and in on Sanchez and gets him in the shoulder.
One out, one on. And Hunter Pence coming up. .339 spring for Pence. A home run, 10 runs batted in. Second round pick in 04. He's 27 years of age. Last year hit .344 in the month of May. With all active National League players in that month. Second straight year that he's hit .282 during the season and had 25 home runs for 3 straight years.
This is a real rarity, too. You don't see many guys anymore choke up on the bat. Hunter Pence does.
Second missing for ball 2, 2-1. On deck, Carlos Lee. Back it ready with a 2-1 pitch to Hunter Pence. It's outside for ball 3. Josh working on some things during the spring, and it's really tough to take really the numbers from spring training and make much of them. A lot of veterans are coming in working on different things and trying to get ready for the season. Certainly intensity is not there during the spring. I'm not really sure you can take too much from the numbers, but the numbers are not good from the spring.
Yet, after every one of his press conferences after he pitched, he was pretty pleased with his performance, saying there were certain things on that particular day that he was trying to work on and get accomplished. Last time out, it was the two-seam fastball.
To right field, Drew wanders back, and a late lunge to make a nice catch by J.D. Drew. J.D. got back there and then leaped in the air to make a nice grab for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, because he was going back so hard, he had a tough time getting some ups. But he got enough ups to be able to make the catch. J.D. Drew robbing Pence of extra bases. And you see Sanchez can't believe he makes the catch and has to get back to first base.
2 down, Sanchez still at first, and Carlos Lee the batter. Take strike 1 from Beckett. Lee with 3 home runs during the spring. 24 home runs last year. Is it better than 30 home runs 4 times in his career? This will be his 5th season in Houston. Saltalamacchia with a good block, able to kick it up the first base line.
Yeah, expecting the ball in the dirt. Anytime a curveball is called for, catchers anticipate the ball in the dirt. And Saltalamacchia very quick sliding to his right to get over and at least get the kneecap on it. Deflects up the first base line. Runner has to stay at first.
This will mark the 5th season for Carlos Lee in Houston. Began his career with the Chicago White Sox. 6 seasons in Chicago, 2 in Milwaukee, half a season in Texas, and now 5 in Houston. Grounds it foul. Well, 24 home runs last year, 89 runs batted in. His home run total has dropped every season he has been in Houston. 32 to 28 to 26 to 24 last year. Little squib job down the first baseline. Gonzalez will pick it and apply the tag. It ends the first. Done with 1. Red Sox on top 5-0. Feeling really guilty. New flavorful choices right next to our deep dish classics. To treat yourself good, treat yourself right. Uno's, that's why we're here. Second inning back at Minute Maid Park as the Red Sox got to Figueroa for 5 runs, 4 hits, 3 walks in the first inning, sent 10 men to the plate. And it's Pedroia who leads it off here in the second inning. Dustin, one of the walks turned into a run in the first inning. chopped outside of third and fouled. .36 total pitches in the first inning for Nelson Figueroa. So 1-2 is fouled off to the right, now to play.
Now, one thing we've seen this spring, Don, from Dustin Pedroia, he's used the opposite field quite a bit in a number of his at-bats. I think of Dustin as mostly a pull hitter, but been shooting the ball the other way with great consistency.
This one is chopped softly towards third. Chris Johnson on the run and in time for out number one. Let's check in for the first time tonight with Heidi.
Well, Don, Carl Crawford was a standout athlete at Jefferson Davis High School, which is about 10 minutes from here at Minute Maid Park. He was recruited not only in baseball, but football and basketball as well. And as we know, he turned down scholarships to UCLA and Nebraska to play baseball and sign with the Tampa Bay Rays. But he told me he's really excited to get to come home here.
It's a good feeling, you know, just a chance to get back home and be able to, you know, see my family and friends and play in the stadium, play against the team I grew up watching. You know, it's always a good feeling you have on the inside.
Crawford still lives and trains here in the off-season, and he left, get this, 70 tickets for family and friends for the game tonight. He said he even bought about a dozen Carl Crawford jerseys for them to wear. He said even his high school coach is here in the crowd tonight. Don?
All right, thank you very much. Certainly enjoying being back here. And he looked at the schedule, saw that Houston was on the schedule for the Red Sox, not during the regular season, but exhibition season, and chance here to play tonight. This time he flies out to left as Adrian Gonzalez takes strike one. It was special to play at home. Of course, Terry, you had the chance to play in the majors at home, which is very different. This one grounded to short. Sanchez around the bag at second and throws out Gonzalez. Much better second inning for Nelson Figueroa. Sox down in order, but lead 5-0. Baseball just 2 days away, and the NHL playoffs around the corner. Tomorrow night, Bruins continue their playoff march against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Join Catherine Tappan and Mike Milbury on Bruins Face-Off live at 6:30 from the TD Garden. A beautiful venue here, Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. A great spot to stand out there. Literally, they're over in left center field above the 404 marker. To the left of the hill that is out there in center field. Picturesque and good ballpark to watch a game. Red Sox and Astros into the bottom of the second inning. And it's Brett Wallace, Bill Hall, and Joe England. On the ground right side. Gonzalez doesn't get it. Pedroia does, and Beckett covers. Nice play. Pedroia's throw from his backside to be able to get Wallace. Gonzalez ranging way over to the second base side.
Yeah, Gonzalez, being that left-handed first baseman, thinks that he can make those plays, and there's Dustin Pedroia right behind him on the slide, and from his backside makes a nice, accurate throw to Josh Beckett, who covers first and has plenty of time to get Wallace. There's one thing that Pedroia and Gonzalez are going to have to get used to, just, you know, how far Gonzalez likes to range to try to get a baseball. And he went a long way for that one.
One down here in the second inning. Bill Hall. In there for strike one to Hall. Bill last year, 119 games for the Red Sox. Hit at .247. 18 homers, 46 runs batted in. Played all over. And a 185 spring this year with the Astros. Certainly wanted the chance to play every day. Understand how that would be important to him, and a very good year for the Red Sox coming off the bench, but then with all the injuries, a chance to play on a pretty regular basis. It's on the corner for strike two. All, of course, spending the bulk of his major league time as a member of the Milwaukee Brewers. 1.5 season in Seattle and all of last year in Boston. Talked about it a lot last year. The 18 home run total for him last year, not his highest. Had a breakout season in 2006 at Milwaukee, 35 home runs and 85 runs batted in. His best season in the majors. He's back in the National League again. Strike 3 call. Twice Beckett got that outside corner. And there's his first K of the night.
That's that two-seam fastball Beckett likes to throw on the outside part of the plate to right-handers and have it tail back onto the corner. He also does it with left-handers, but to the opposite side, he throws the left-handers inside, but he's going to be very happy with that pitch. Had a nice little comebacker right over the corner.
2 outs in the second inning. Joe England, the batter. Take strike 1 from Beckett. That's 72 spring, no homers, and a run batted in for England.
I'll tell you, that's one pitch right there, Don, and I think Beckett's really improved on this spring has been the changeup. I mean, there's a difference now between his fastball and his changeup. Changeup used to be sometimes 90, 91. He's had it consistently 87, 88 this spring.
In the dirt on the changeup, and he strikes him out with it. Second strikeout for Beckett, a 9-pitch inning and a 5-0 Red Sox lead. Here at Fenway Park, visit the Beth Israel Deaconess First Aid Stand behind Section 12. Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center is the official hospital of the Boston Red Sox. Visit them at bidmc.org. Third inning back at Minute Maid Park in Houston. The Red Sox have a 5-0 advantage. Kevin Youkilis leading it off for the Red Sox. Flight out to center field. A nice catch by Michael Bourne on a sinking liner in his first inning. Did he go? No. So it was Manny Gonzalez. Youkilis will be followed by Ortiz and Drew. They're in the third inning. Figueroa threw 36 pitches in the first inning, just 8 in the second inning. And then for a strike, and it's 1-2.
Steady diet of breaking balls right now to Kevin Youkilis.
Fouled off to the right. Hangs at 1-2.
See Figueroa's fastball certainly not overpowering at 87 miles an hour.
On the ground is short. Sanchez. Long throw that gets there in time.
Sanchez shows a very nice throwing arm here as he's back on the outfield grass. The over-the-top throw, the cross-seam fastball across the diamond to get Youkilis by a good running step.
One down here in the third. 6 in a row now retired by Figueroa. There's David Ortiz. Walked and scored as part of the 5-run first inning. 50th pitch for Figueroa, and it's in there for strike 1. Now nobody on base. The Astros have gone into the full shift on David Ortiz. It has Bill Hall in short right. Foul back to the screen, 1-2.
Half swing that time by Ortiz. Fooled on that pitch. Looks like a little cut fastball that fooled him.
In tight with the fastball for ball 2. Swing and a miss. Ortiz strikes out. It's the first strikeout of the night for Figueroa. There's 2 down in the 3rd.
Well, both outs this inning for Figueroa have come on the changeup. The ground ball out to Youkilis, and now the changeup is a little bit high, but still no contact by Ortiz.
Two down in the 3rd, and here's J.D. Drew. Walked in the 1st inning. Picked up an RBI. Did he go? No. So Stephen Barga, third base umpire, and it's 2-0. Drew fouls it off. 7 in a row retired by Figueroa, who has found his bearings after a very rocky 1st inning. Two and 2, and a look back from Drew. Thought it was ball 3. Saltalamacchia waiting on deck. 2 outs in the 3rd as Drew looks at ball 3. Brad Ironsburg, the new pitching coach here for the Astros, former Toronto Blue Jays pitching coach. Mike Barnett is also on Brad Mills' staff, the former hitting coach for Terry Francona at one time on the Red Sox staff. 3-2 is in there for strike 3. Back-to-back Ks for Figueroa. He's retired 8 in a row, but it's the Red Sox on top 5-0. WEI's Dennis and Callahan at night. We've cut the best moments from this morning's show into a quick 30-minute format. Check it out tonight after Nesson Daily. Last half of the 3rd inning back at Minute Maid Park in Houston, where Chris Johnson, J.R. Tolles, and Michael Bourne are coming up.
Of course, Houston all a buzz right now, not because of the Astros, but because of the NCAA Final Four that's coming up here in Houston. Of course, Ron Johnson, the father of the batter at the plate right now.
It's ball 1 to Chris Johnson. At a .242 spring, 2 homers and 11 runs batted in. Foul one off down the right field line. Saw him hit a home run at City Palms Park last year during spring training against the Red Sox. .308 average last year for Houston. 11 home runs, 52 runs batted in 94 games. Beckett, who's been ahead of everybody until Johnson. It's the first time he didn't throw a first pitch strike. But he is ahead of him now, 1-2. 2 strikeouts, both coming in the 2nd inning for Beckett. Broken bat, pop up. Beckett wants it, and he'll make the catch.
That's really getting in the kitchen of Johnson right there for Josh Beckett. That, again, that 2-seam fastball that just ran right back in the hands of Johnson. Shatters the bat. It'll pop up to first to Beckett, who's able to make the catch.
One down in the third inning. J.R. Tolles. Line and caught by Youkilis at third. Tolles now waiting around. Beckett's been getting ahead of everybody, and he takes a hack at the first pitch, but lines out. Two down in the third, and it's back up top. Second time through now for the Astros. Michael Bourne flied out to left field first time up. Bourne started in the majors for the Philadelphia Phillies. It was called Houston is home each of the last 3 seasons. This will be year number 4 for him. He had 52 stolen bases a year ago. As he takes strike one. The year before he had 61. He's behind now, 1-2. He was an all-star last year. Part of the deal coming from Philadelphia for Brad Lidge, who starts the year in the DL for the Philadelphia Phillies. Deal was in November 2007. Swing and a miss, fastball up. He chases at 93. Third strikeout for Beckett. 5-0 Red Sox. Today, you can create your own unique 3-game package, including 1 game with the Chicago Cubs or the New York Yankees. Visit redsox.com/SRO packs today to get your Cubs or Yankees tickets. Check out a variety of other ticket options. Well, Josh Beckett has been very good tonight. First 3 innings have been as good as we have seen, I think, during the spring.
I'd agree with that, Don.
35 pitches. And 3 strikeouts for Beckett through the first 3. It's on to the 4th inning. Jared Saltalamacchia singled and knocked in a pair in the first. Line to center. Bourne will back off and let it fall. He was sinking fast, and Saltalamacchia is 2 for 2.
Base hit to drive in a run back in the first inning. A hard line drive, sinking line drive to center field. That gets in front of Michael Bourne. Saltalamacchia's had a heck of a spring offensively. 364 coming into the game tonight, and 2 for 2 in this one.
There's Marco Scutaro at 311 during the spring. He lined out to short first time up as he takes strike one. Talk about the difference between spring training games and coming here to a major league ballpark. Jerry, we saw a lot of night games during the spring, and the lights are just not the same in some of those parks.
Oh, no. Oh, they're not even close, Don. Not even close.
Some dark venues. Nice to be back in the friendly confines. This is through the left side into left field. And Scutaro's got a base hit, back-to-back hits for the Sox here in the fourth.
Scutaro takes an inside fastball and pulls it in that hole between third and shortstop for the base hit. So the first 2 runners for the Red Sox reach here in the 4th inning.
2 on, nobody out. And Jacoby Ellsbury, 1 for 2. Singled, stole a base in the first, scored, and grounded out on the first as Red Sox send 10 men to the plate. Line to right and in for a hit. Back towards the corner goes Pence to grab it. Around from second, Saltalamacchia will score. It's a double for Jacoby Ellsbury and a 6-0 Red Sox lead.
Left-handers like the ball down in the zone, and this breaking ball is going to be down and in. That's a perfect spot for a left-hander, especially with the type of swing that Jacoby Ellsbury has. Nice play by Hunter Pence out there in right field to cut that ball off and save another run from scoring.
3 straight hits for the Red Sox, the infield in. As Pedroia takes ball 1 away. And about halfway in the infield right now. In at third is Johnson at the lip of the grass. There's a strike, 1-1. Third plate appearance of the night for Pedroia. Walked and scored in the first. Grounded out to third base in the second. Pitch 70 from Figueroa is down and away. Tough first. Back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings in the second and third. Now trouble again in the fourth. To right, down the line. Pence going as far as he can into a slide and can't catch it, but it's foul. And what little foul ground there is down that right field line.
Yeah, both corners, right field, left field, you run out of territory in a hurry. And you can see right there why Hunter Pence had to kind of go into that slide to try to make the catch. Ball bouncing in foul territory, then up into the stands for a souvenir.
Second and third, nobody out. And a 2-2 coming to Pedroia. Ball 3. Took 36 pitches for Figueroa to get out of the first inning. While Crawford waiting on deck. Ball 4. Fourth walk allowed by Figueroa, and it loads the bases. Brad Arnsberg about to be on the phone now is. Brad Mills going to get some action. Base is filled with Red Sox. Nobody out here in the fourth, and here's Carl Crawford. Part of the attack in the first inning with a single and a run batted in. Chance to do some more damage here in the fourth.
Infield still in for the Houston Astros. Trying to cut down a run at the plate and a ground ball in the infield.
Pedroia at third, Ellsbury at second, Pedroia at first. 2-1 to Crawford. Slap foul, and it's 2-2. Action in the Astros pen, Jose Valdez. Right side and through into right field, a base hit. Scudero from third base. Ellsbury will be stopped. Now he's going to come on. Throw from right is not in time. Stopped and then continued on. And 2 more runs are in for the Red Sox, who take an 8-0 lead.
Now, when in doubt, get the ball to the cutoff man. That would avoid Ellsbury from scoring there. Red Sox were going to hold the runner because the charge was put on here by Pence. Then he just holds the ball. He drops it, looks in, doesn't know what to do with it. And by the time he lets it go home, the run comes across. See Jacoby stopping, and then once he sees that hesitation out there by Pence, he has no problem scoring another run. I'd imagine that goes a base hit, an E9. We'll have to see.
So far, they just call it a fielder's choice. And 1 RBI. Lynchburg out there to talk to Figueroa, who's run into trouble again here in the 4th. So 2 on, first and second here, nobody out, and 5 straight batters have reached on 4 hits and a walk. Adrian Gonzalez batting for the 3rd time tonight. Singled in the first, grounded out to short in the second. Take strike 1. Center fielder Michael Bourne, a step or 2 towards left center. Somewhat of a gap out there in right center field for Gonzalez. Plus, the Astros have an idea as to how to play Gonzalez with all of his time in the National League.
Now, we've watched every defense set up in spring training just about this exact same way against Gonzalez.
Inside for ball 2. Figueroa's had 2 good innings and 2 bad innings, and right now in the second of 2 bad innings. Still has gotten an out in the inning. Line to right and in for a hit. Bases reloaded once again, and it's the second hit of the night for Adrian Gonzalez.
Gonzalez this time pulling the ball, gets the fastball inside and gets the barrel of the bat out, pulling it to right field for the base hit.
So Brad Mills out to get him, making the change here in the 4th inning with the Red Sox on top 8-0.
Thanks, Don. We're going to bring you the one signature item that you've got to try if you're going to any ballpark this summer. So here at Minute Maid Park, I'm told it's Bluebell ice cream. Now, I'm here with Arbery Livingston. Tell me, why is Bluebell ice cream the thing to have here?
Well, I'd say Bluebell ice cream is the best in the world. I've traveled across the U.S., and I'm a little disappointed in some cities when I can't find it. But it's a little small town about 45 minutes outside downtown Houston near Texas A&M University in this place called Brenham, Texas. And the signature one is the homemade vanilla ice cream. Now, for the more feminine types, they're more partial to the cookies and cream, but it's all good. They serve so many different flavors, and one extraordinary thing is about it, you can actually take a field trip and actually go visit the plant. They take you around the plant and show you how the ice cream is made and processed and so on. So the taste is unbelievable. It really is. You got to try it.
All right, we got to go with the local favorite, and everyone told me here, go Bluebell ice cream. So here we go. I'm going to try some Bluebell ice cream here from Minute Maid Park. They even serve it in these cute little souvenir cup hats, pink because I'm a girl. This is the homemade vanilla. That's pretty good.
It's real, right?
You didn't do me wrong here. This is pretty good stuff. Don, Jerry, maybe I'll send some up to the booth for you, but this one's all mine.
All right, Heidi, thanks very much. As Nelson Figueroa has lined 3+, 9 hits, 8 runs so far, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts. He's responsible for everybody on. And bases are loaded with nobody out here in the 4th inning. New pitcher is Jose Valdez. Euclid's batting with the bases loaded. And there's strike 1 over the outside corner.
Why don't we take a tour of that plant tomorrow morning? Have ice cream for breakfast while the Red Sox are working out.
Sounds like a plan. Look at Valdez's numbers during the spring. 28-year-old, originally signed by the Yankees when he was 17 years old out of Santo Domingo, the Dominican Republic. It's out by Euclid, and it's 0-2. Valdez has never pitched in the majors. Signed by Houston as a free agent. Highest he's played is AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre, 2009.
Pretty good fastball, same velocity right now as Josh Beckett has shown in the game tonight, 93-94 with the fastball.
First 9 pro seasons he had in the Yankees organization. Last year joining the Astros and missed most of last year recovering from an injury. And is able to strike out Kevin Euclid. First out of the 4th inning.
That had a nasty dip to it. Looked like a split-fingered fastball from Valdez. Just falls right off the table.
One out for David Ortiz. Walked in the 1st inning, struck out swinging in the 3rd inning. And a swing and a miss for strike 1. Red Sox are 6 for 10 with runners in scoring positions. This is already a whopping 11th time the Red Sox have come to bat with a man in scoring position. They've had plenty. And have made good on most. Pedroia at 3rd base, Crawford at 2nd base, Gonzalez at 1st base. Ortiz sends it foul, 1-2. J.D. Drew waiting on deck. Two and two. That's where Valdez has been for the most part. His fastball around 93. He's coming in for Nelson Figueroa. Ends up working just 3+ innings. Charged with 8 runs so far. In the dirt, ball 3. Meanwhile, on the other side, Josh Beckett has been as good as we have seen him all spring. He's had a long wait this inning. Was not allowed a base hit through the first 3 innings and 3 strikeouts. A batter to reach a hit batsman in the first. Ortiz swings and misses. So Valdez coming into the game has struck out back-to-back batters. Not just anybody, Euclid and now Ortiz.
Yeah, sinking fastball here going down and away from David Ortiz at 93 to pick up the strikeout. So he split it to Euclid and a fastball to Ortiz to get 2 big strikeouts.
Coming into a very tough situation, bases loaded, nobody out, and he's done as well as you can do. See if it continues here against left-handed hitting J.D. Drew. J.D. walked in the first inning, struck out in the third. Drew gets jammed and pops it up to Hall at second. Nice job by Valdez to stop the bleeding. Red Sox add 3 more, lead at 8-0. Presented by Sun Life Financial. Bruins forward Milan Lucic will join her in studio to talk about the Bruins stretch run to the playoffs and other hockey matters. Plus, hear what Roger Clemens had to say about his federal court case today. It's all coming up on NESN Daily tonight after the game, only on NESN. J.D. Drew jammed by Valdez, who did a very nice job of getting out of that inning. Having to deal with Euclid, Ortiz, and then Drew. Change for the Red Sox. Mike Cameron in the game for J.D. Drew as we play along to the bottom of the 4th inning. Red Sox enjoying the big lead here as Angel Sanchez get it started in the 4th. Long wait for Josh Beckett while his team was batting the top half of the inning, and the pitching change mixed in as well. Starts it off with strike 1 to Sanchez. Ended up being a 24-minute wait total for Beckett. But that does not change the sharpness that we've seen through the first 3 innings. To right field, Cameron just into the game, makes his way towards the line to make the catch.
Now Mike's made the adjustment very well to right field here during spring training. Of course, he's center fielder basically his whole career, and this spring playing much more right field along with J.D. Drew, and has seemed to have no problems at all.
Guy has just been a solid outfielder his entire career. And happy to still be on the ball club. No doubt he'd like to play every day, but I think he is relishing the fact this team is going to be extremely good this year, and he's going to be a part of it. And if you listen to Terry Francona, it sounds like against lefties, we've seen a lot of Mike Cameron in right field. And it was truly the case, and Terry said this most of last year. We really didn't see the real Mike Cameron last year. And he tried to remind people that throughout the season, Mike was playing, and the results really were not there, but then again, he was really hurt.
How about this curveball from Beckett? Had Pence dunking. He thought that ball was going right for his head.
Pence late, fouls a 93-mile-an-hour fastball off, and it's 1-2.
Now, Terry told me today that he had a talk with a number of players today about things that he may do in certain situations throughout the season. We talked about the possibility of Cameron being in their opening day against the left-handed from down in Texas, C.J. Wilson. Talked to David Ortiz.
This one flip foul off to the right.
Ortiz, of course, at times will probably sit down against some left-handers, and of course, if David is hitting left-handers, he won't sit down. There'll be certain guys that he'll get a day off against left-handed pitches.
I think it'll be an easier thing this year, perhaps, for David Ortiz in that category than it was maybe a year ago. A lot, of course, was made last year. David's situation, and really the start didn't help. fact that he was struggling so mightily at the beginning of the year, and then Mike Bowl situation was also swirling. On the ground towards third, Youkilis on the run, and in time, 2 down.
Red Sox also had a team meeting today, and usually what that is when they finally break down and get their club together, with the exception of a few guys that have made the trip, that's when they go over all their signs, the signs they're going to use during the season. They'll be using in the ball game tonight, so guys can use them. They don't want to do things like that. They keep it as basic as possible during the course of spring training because there's so many guys there. But then they add, and they put their new signs in, and that's probably what a lot of the meeting was about this afternoon, prior to the media being allowed in.
How much does that stuff change year to year from the coaching staff from a sign standpoint?
Not very much. Well, it depends. Sometimes it can change 3 or 4 times during the course of a season. If you get a player that's been on your club that goes somewhere else, obviously when you see that team, you have to change the signs because he knows it. So it's just, it's constant at times. But most managers and third base coaches pretty much stay on the same page. They'd like to keep things as simple as possible.
The success of Terry Francona, you're also now managing against guys that have been on your staff.
That's right.
John Farrell comes to mind this season 18
exactly right.
times. Outside for ball 3. Ten in a row retired by Beckett. Line to center. Ellsbury started back. It's time to recover and reels it in. Another good inning for Beckett. 4 in the books. 8-0 Red Sox. And girls ages 5 to 14. The official camp of the Boston Red Sox features player appearances, VIP tours at Fenway, and professional instruction. It runs throughout the summer around the Boston area. For more details, log on to redsox.com/camps. 8-0 Red Sox on top. Josh Beckett has been outstanding so far tonight against the Astros through the first 4 innings. And a new pitcher on for the Astros. Murray Rodriguez is into the game for Houston. 8 appearances during the spring, no record, a 5.25 earned run average. Logged 12 innings, had 14 hits in those 12 innings. Opponent sitting at 304 against Rodriguez. Outstanding job by Jose Valdez, who came into a bases loaded situation, nobody out, proceeded to strike out Youkilis, Ortiz, and then got Drew to pop out weakly to end the 4th inning. So Valdez 1 inning and 2 strikeouts. Rodriguez becomes the 3rd arm used for Brad Mills. Saltalamacchia 2 for 2 in the game tonight. A couple of RBIs. Both of Saltalamacchia's hits to center field. Now a rocket through the right side into right field. And Saltalamacchia is 3 for 3.
Not wasting any time with the new pitcher in there, picking on the very first pitch, a fastball, and hooks it. That ball away from Saltalamacchia, but he extends his arms and hooks it between that hole at first and second. So Salty 3 for 3 with an RBI.
3rd time in 5 innings the Red Sox have had a lead runner on. There's Marco Scutaro. Red Sox with 10 hits now in the game. Marco's got 1. He's 1 for 2. A single in the 4th inning. Swinging a foul tip. The catcher's mitt. Scudero's down 0-2. On the ground towards short. Sanchez deep in the hole, goes to second base, and it's just in time. Nice play. He was going against the grain. Off-balance throw. He's able to get Saltalamacchia at second base.
Yeah, we've seen Sanchez show some range out there at shortstop tonight. He does it again here. Quick release. And the stretch by Bill Hall makes himself a first baseman to get that force out at second base.
One out. Scudero at first, and here's Jacoby Ellsbury. It's been a 2-hit night. Top the Red Sox order. He scored a couple of runs. Stolen base tonight as well. Take strike one. An 0-2 from Rodriguez. Ellsbury cranks a foul on the ground. Pedroia waiting on deck. Red Sox batting, visiting half of the 5th inning. Outside for ball one. Mentioned a 10-hit attack for the Red Sox. Saltalamacchia leading the way with 3 hits in the game. Ellsbury's got 2. Crawford's got 2. Gonzalez 2. Fouled off to the left, and we'll do it again. 1-2. Toss over, and Scudero back to the bag. Jerry, 3 home runs for Jacoby Ellsbury during the spring. I mean, do you want Jacoby Ellsbury hitting home runs, or thinking that he's a home run hitter?
If he wants to.
I'm just looking at the rest of this lineup. I guess he can if he wants to be. This one has popped up fouling out of play. But
he's a hard guy to predict, you know. I mean, he's a hard guy to tell how many home runs that he's capable of hitting. He has that slight uppercut swing, which of course will get him some home runs, but you know, basically you want this guy using his legs. A lot of line drives, ground balls.
I guess that's where I was going with it. Did have 9 home runs in 2008.
And I think if you're asking if Jacoby's going to turn into a 25 to 30 home run guy, I don't see that.
Do you want him thinking that he is a 25 home run guy?
No.
I guess that's my question.
Absolutely not.
On the ground right side and into right field.
I'll take that right there.
Ellsbury is on for the 3rd time tonight with his 3rd hit. Scudero takes second base.
Not exactly crushed by Ellsbury, but certainly hit good enough as he rolls those wrists over, pulls the ball, right by the first baseman and picks up, as Don mentioned, his third hit. Got an RBI, got a stolen base tonight.
2 on, 1 away for Dustin Pedroia. He's walked twice in the game tonight and grounded out to third base. Five runs in the first, 3 in the fourth for Boston. And looking for more here in the fifth inning. The Astros are on to their third pitcher of the night. It's outside. It's 2-0. Red Sox have left 5 men on base. They've had plenty of base runners. Carl Crawford waits on deck. Pedroia to right. In comes Pence to make the diving catch. A head first dive, and then he fires it back into second base late. A nice play by Pence and right. And Pedroia is out, number 2 of the inning.
I mentioned earlier about Pedroia going the other way. That ball was hit very well, but a very nice play by Pence. Had a chance for a double play, but couldn't stop rolling around out there.
What do you think the change in approach is for Pedroia? Is just trying something different?
I don't think that he's changed anything. I think just when he's down a couple of strikes, he might be cutting his swing down a little bit, going to the opposite field a little bit more.
Out this time as Pence makes a nice grab and right. Here's Carl Crawford. Crawford with 2 hits and 2 runs batted in. His hits are both singles. Strike, and it's 1-1. Scudero at second base, Ellsbury at first base, 2 outs in the fifth. It's outside, 2-1. Outfield about straight away on Crawford. So he takes ball 3. .307 batting average for Crawford a year ago. 5th time in the last 6 years that he's hit better than 300. Last year powered up a career high 19 home runs. Take strike 2.
That's the kind of pitch you want to swing at when the count's in your favor. 3-1, a nasty fastball on the outside corner. You're looking for something middle in that 3-1 count.
On the ground right side, Bill Hall from the outfield grass throws out Crawford and ends the inning. Red Sox do not score in the fifth but enjoy the cushy 8-0 lead. Red Sox is your source for Red Sox news and notes. Read what we have to say, then send us your thoughts through video or Skype. Join the conversation at NESN.com/Red Sox and on Facebook and Twitter. Darnell McDonald comes into the game for Carl Crawford in left field. As we play along to the bottom of the fifth inning, Josh Beckett has retired the last 11 batters in a row. Only batter to reach was Angel Sanchez in the first inning, who he hit. With 4 innings, no hits, no runs, no walks, 3 Ks, and 48 pitches. This is the inning in which Beckett has had trouble during the spring, but no signs of trouble so far through the first 4. He's been outstanding.
Don, I think in the games that we've watched Beckett, this is certainly the best he's pitched, and also seems to be the best fastball that he's had in any start that he's made.
Saw a lot of 92 and 93, and today we've seen 95 at times. This will be pitch number 50 of the night. Brett Wallace leading it off for Houston.
There's that changeup again from Beckett, again with that good downward action going down and away from the lefty. I don't recall his changeup having that much movement on it.
Down low this time, and it's 2-2. Wallace, then Bill Hall and Joe Inglet bat here in the home half of the 5th inning. In the air, foul and out of play. Inside, full count. Wallace grounded out to second base in the 2nd inning. Getting his 2nd look tonight at Josh Beckett. 3-2 pitch. So on the ground, right side. Off of Gonzalez. Pedroia's got it, no play. And again, it's Gonzalez ranging way over to the second base side. He got a piece of it on the way by that slowed it down.
Now we saw a similar play earlier in the ball game, but this time Pedroia could not get the throw off. Had to roll over a couple of times, and by the time he looked up, there's no chance to make a play at first base.
Same guy running, and Brett Wallace. First time they got him, this time they can't. And it's the first hit off Beckett tonight.
Looks like Gonzalez really likes to try to range to his right, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. If you're a second baseman, how much are you enjoying that? Would you rather him stay in his area?
No, yeah, you stay over there, and I'm going to make a line right here.
You tell George Scott and whoever else you need to stay over there.
I didn't tell George anything. Not with his glove. He could take any ground ball he wanted.
This is the Rem Dogs area.
Yeah.
Back off.
Mine was about 3 feet. His was about 10.
Bill Hall with a swing and a miss. Hall struck out looking in the 2nd inning. Three strikeouts in the game for Beckett, working here in the 5th. Pitching in his home state of Texas tonight. The final tune-up for the regular season. Fly ball to center field. Huge center field as Salisbury's back with plenty of room. He makes the catch. 436 straightaway center.
And up a hill.
And a hill and a pole and everything else. One down.
That's a long way out there. 436 to center field as you go climb that mountain. Actually, where that ball Ellsbury caught, that was heading toward, what, 404 out there? And Left center field?
Yes.
That's quite a poke, too. The place to go here is right down the line for right-handers.
1 out, 1 on. Joe England struck out swinging in the second inning. Takes a high fastball for ball 1. Beckett trying to work his way around a leadoff hit by Brett Wallace. Infield hit at that. His 60th pitch. Fouled back to the screen, 1-1. Are you surprised at all that Beckett was placed in the 4 spot in the rotation to begin the year?
I can't say that I was. No, I think Lackey being number 2 was a little bit of a surprise. But you knew that Lester and Buchholz were going to be up in the top 2 as we have a line drive, double play, Don.
Nicely done, Jerry. It's 8-0 Red Sox. To save, CVS Pharmacy will donate $500 to Children's Hospital Boston. CVS Pharmacy is the official pharmacy of the Boston Red Sox. 5 innings for Josh Beckett, just 1 hit. Red Sox have an 8-0 advantage as we head to the top half of the 6th inning. Astros with a new pitcher, Mario De La Rosario, into the game now for Houston. 11 appearances during the spring, a record. Did not give up an earned run in 13 1/3 innings. 9 hits, 3 walks, and opponents only hitting 184 against Del Rosario. Takes over for Mario Rodriguez, who had an inning giving up 2 hits, no runs, no walks, and did not strike anybody out. 4th pitcher for the Astros, and Beckett has a look of a guy who may be done tonight.
And if he is done, he certainly has finished on a very, very good note here tonight. All of his pitches, his fastball, his curveball, his changeup, his 2-seamer, all working very well in this game tonight for Josh Beckett.
Adrian Gonzalez to lead it off here in the top half of the 6th inning. Gonzalez, Euclid, and Ortiz anticipated in the 6th. Adrian a single in the 1st, grounded out in the 2nd, singled in the 4th inning. 2-hit night so far. As he takes strike 1. Swinging a foul tip, 0-2. Rosario, 25 years of age, came over from Cincinnati in September. Nine games with the Reds, was 1-1. 2 games with the Astros. Pitching an inning in 3rd last year. And then a late swing, got it by Gonzalez, round number 1 of the 6th. As we check back in with Heidi.
Don, Adrian Gonzalez hasn't had a full spring training to get ready for the season, coming off of off-season shoulder surgery, but he told me he's exactly where he wants to be, both offensively and defensively. I asked him if he's anxious at all about his first regular season start in a Red Sox uniform on Friday.
It's one of 162, and then the playoffs. So, there always is that anticipation, but when the game starts, it's just a game, and you got to treat it as just another game. And whether you have a great day at the plate or on the field, all that matters is a W at the end of the day. So, it's exciting, but at the same time, it's one of many.
The one area Gonzalez has held back is diving. He hasn't dove for a ball defensively in spring training on purpose. He said there was no reason to potentially aggravate his shoulder when the games didn't count, but he said he was going to tonight, and we've seen him diving there at first base. Don?
All right, Heidi, thanks very much. This is back at the middle And Hall throws out Euclid, who is 0 for 4 in the ball game tonight, 2 down.
See, I couldn't take that approach to opening day. I hated opening day.
Didn't like it?
No, it's because I always felt like everything I did on opening day, that's the kind of season I was going to have.
If you went 0 for 5, it was going to be an 0 for season.
It was going to be a terrible season. Brutal season, you know.
Did you have any really good ones where you were like 4 for 4 and he said, I'm going to be,
I don't know.
I'm going to win the batting champion this year. I'm really good.
No, I don't think I ever thought that, no.
I've got it all going on.
But it's not a normal day. You know, nothing's normal about it. All the pregame festivities, everything else that goes on. It's you know, I like to get a couple under your belt, get into the flow of the season.
You didn't enjoy the home opener even where they introduced you and you run out to the line? And
No, because you didn't know if they're going to boo you or cheer you.
Flip a coin? David Ortiz 0 for 2 with a walk as he takes pitch outside.
Everything's fresh, everything's new, everything counts all of a sudden. You know, you get away from spring training and all of a sudden all the things that you do during the season, they're official.
This one is by the mound softly. The shift was on. Sanchez throws him out to end the inning to 1-2-3, 6th, 5.5 done. It's 8-0 Red Sox. It features interviews and photos of your favorite Red Sox players. Get the inside scoop for the official magazine of the Boston Red Sox. You can subscribe by calling 781-545-5702 or check out a preview of the spring training edition at redsox.com/magazine. New third baseman for the Red Sox, Jed Lowry, as we play on to the bottom of the 6th inning with Red Sox on top 8-0. That is over for Kevin Euclid and for Josh Beckett as Dennis Reyes making the team and pitching tonight in the final exhibition of the spring. 10 appearances during the spring, 1-1 with 2.70 ERA, 10 total innings for him. And opponents hitting at .243 against Reyes. Foul off to the right for Chris Johnson. An outstanding effort tonight in the final tune-up for Josh Beckett. Here are the numbers for Beckett's effort tonight. 5 innings, just 1 hit. Came in his last inning. An infield hit, 1 hit, no runs. Walk anybody, struck out 3 through 61 pitches, 40 for strikes. In one stretch, had retired 11 batters in a row. By far his best effort of the spring. And it comes in his last before the regular season. Couldn't come at a better time.
He has to be very pleased with that outing tonight. I mean, as we mentioned, Don, everything there, the fastball, the two-seam fastball, the curveball, excellent changeup. Makes Beckett happy, makes Terry Francona happy.
Johnson to right. Cameron moving over. And Mike will have it fall. Just kept darting away from him towards the line, and it's a base hit for Johnson to begin the 6th inning. This is second Astros hit of the night.
Yeah, I had one last inning off Josh Beckett, and now Johnson really gets kind of jammed here and wasn't sure it was going to be a fair or foul ball.
Runner on here for the Astros, second straight inning. J.R. Tolles batting here in the 6th inning. He lined out back in the 3rd. And he takes ball 1. Reyes appearing with 10 different teams over 14 Major League seasons. Most recently, each of the last 2 years with the Cardinals. He's a non-roster invitee to camp this year, and the Red Sox picked up his Major League contract last Friday. added to the roster and placed on the 25-man roster. Ready to go to Texas. Ended up beating Hideki Okajima, who's been on the team for 4 years for the left-handed reliever spot. This one fouled at the dish, 2-1.
Probably no surprise to Reyes that he made the club, but I'll bet Okajima was stunned that he did not.
Okajima had such a tough year last year. Did not have a great spring so far this season. Not to say that we won't hear from him perhaps in the near future. Think about how the opening day roster makes such a big deal about the 25 guys you break with, but take a look at the roster maybe a week, 10 days later, and it already looks different at times. So there'll be a lot of guys who get sent down, and you think of the name of Scott Atchison as a guy as we may see soon again. Swing and a miss, and it's full count. Some other guys who performed well at times during the spring. Certainly Andrew Miller was a guy that Red Sox are excited about. He tried out for the bullpen job, and he'll be starting the year as a starter for the Pawtucket Red Sox. They'll stretch him out. On the ground, down the line, foul.
Look at
seats.
Look at it.
With face plant.
I hope they don't throw him out of the ballpark because of this. This was just a nice effort, and he just lost control of his whole body. Oh, no.
Yes, he'll be leaving.
Come on.
He can't go on the field, Joe.
But he didn't want to.
To right, and Cameron is there to make the catch. You have to avoid coming onto the field.
Oh, that's a bad call right there. That to me is a bad call. The guy's trying to make a play on a ground ball and just totally lost control of all his limbs and just went tumbling onto the field. He wasn't intentionally going on the field. He got right back up, got back in his seat.
He's a hero amongst the fans as he leaves.
I
bet that hurts too.
Yeah, I mean, that's a painful fall. And it's an exhibition game.
Yes. Unfortunately, his family also losing out on the rest of the night. It's outside 2-0. Bourne 0 for 2 from the top spot for the Astros. Flight out to left, struck out swinging. Here's a pop-up into short left. Scudero out. McDonald in. Look out. McDonald calls him off. Makes the catch, 2 down. So Scudero wanted it initially, and then McDonald came in and called him off.
Well, you go back as far as you can. You call for it, but if you hear that left field to call you off, you get out of the way. He's got priority.
Reyes, who has gotten better later in his career. We mentioned the 14 seasons for him in the majors. 8 of the first 9 years of his career, his ERA was over 4. In each of the last 5 years, he's been under 4 and getting better the older he gets. Started in 2006, and he appeared in 66 games with the Twins. We saw a lot of him in his 3 years in Minnesota. At a .89 ERA that season, it seemed to turn the corner in his career. It's ground ball foul.
Tom, we got some good news. I understand that fan has not been thrown out of the ballpark. What they do is move him to the upper deck.
That's almost as bad, isn't it? You go from being in the first row where he was to the upper deck.
At least he's still in the ballpark. But if he tries that same move in the upper deck, he'll clean out a bunch of people underneath him.
Swing and a miss. Chop to third. Lowry will go to second for the force out. It'll wrap up the 6th inning. Done with 6. It's been all Red Sox. Boston on top 8-0. Comment @bat11 for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get spring training scores, stats, highlights, live audio, and more. Text @bat to 31826 or visit redsox.com for details. 8-0. Red Sox on top, out hitting the Astros 11-2. Jason Bourgeois takes over in center field for Michael Bourne. The Astros with the new shortstop Matt Downs in the game for Angel Sanchez. And Wilton Lopez is the 5th pitcher of the night for the Astros, his 10th appearance of the spring. Mike Cameron batting for the first time, grounds 1 foul. Rest of the numbers for Lopez: 9 innings, 4 hits, and 129 opponent batting average. Didn't walk anybody during the spring and had 6 Ks. Takes over for Anirio Del Rosario, who had an inning and had a strikeout, retired all 3 batters he faced. Mike Cameron taking over for J.D. Drew. Drew had been 0 for 2 with a walk. Walk came with the bases loaded, so an RBI. On the ground to short. Downs just in the game, and an error. Cameron reaching to begin the 7th.
Well, tough way to start for Downs. Looked like going to be a routine ground ball. It just boots it. Rolls right up his glove and can't get it in his throwing hand to make a throw.
Here is Jared Saltalamacchia. Had a great night, 3 hits. A couple of RBIs for him, 3 singles. Little nubber back to the mound. Lopez will go to second base for a run. They say on the transfer it came out. So they do get the force out of Cameron for the first out of the inning.
Cameron gets right on top of that shortstop Downs as he takes this throw, and he causes him right there as he's coming in hard on the transfer to bobble it. He did have it long enough to get the force out.
So 1 out, Saltalamacchia at first base, and Marco Scudero the batter. Marco lined out in the first, singled in the 4th, reached on a fielder's choice in the 5th. Wilton Lopez on the mound for the Astros, claimed off waivers from the Padres in April of 2009. It's been a big night tonight for Jared Saltalamacchia. Single back in the first inning to start his night. He would single again in the 4th inning. And again in the 5th and a single to right. 9 for his last 14. Came in tonight, hitting at .364 during the spring and continuing his torrid pace. 405 spring training average. And for him, it'll be kind of fun to return to Texas, a team that he was catcher for on opening day. And he'll be the opening day catcher for the Red Sox. and it'll be in Texas against the Rangers. 1-2 pitch to Marco Scutaro. Strike 3 call. Marco didn't think so as he backpedals out of the box. 2 down.
That's that two-seam fastball again that right-handers will quit on. They think it's outside, but then that movement brings it right back on the corner. Looked like Marco was expecting something inside on that particular pitch and did not get it.
Two down in the 7th. Jacoby Ellsbury's had a good night. He's had 3 hits as well. Stolen a base. Scored 2 runs. Wilton Lopez, 5th pitcher of the night, used by the Astros. Originally signed by the Yankees, 18 years of age, as a non-drafted free agent from Nicaragua. 2-1. 76 major league games, 5-4, 4.17 ERA. All those major league games coming with Houston. Ground ball foul. 2-2. Gave up only 5 walks last year in Houston in 67 innings. Struck out 50. 10-1 strikeout to walk ratio. Goes up top to get Ellsbury. The Red Sox are gone in the 7th. Let's check in with your Need to Know with Nesson Daily, presented by Sunlight Financial. Here's Jade McCarthy. For spring training will finally come to an end as the revamped Red Sox open the 2011 season against the Texas Rangers. Join TC and Hall of Famers Dennis Eckersley, Jim Rice, and Peter Gammons for 1 full hour of pregame coverage beginning live at 3. Check out Nesson.com/Red Sox for more. John Lester against C.J. Wilson and opening day from Arlington. The Red Sox have an 8-0 advantage as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Hunter Pence to lead it off here for the Astros. And it's against new right-hander Daniel Bard. Just threw that fastball at 97 miles an hour. 7 games during the spring, no record. 6.75 ERA. 6 2/3. Batter sitting at .269 against him. He did walk 4 during the spring. We saw him in a scary moment. The fastball hit Corey Patterson at City of Palms Park, and the helmet behind Pence. 2-0. There's a strike. 2-1. 98. Carlos Lee waits on deck, and Brett Wallace expected in the inning. Two and two. Swinging a 97 mile an hour fastball that was up, and Pence got a piece. Only 2 hits for the Astros on the night. Brett Wallace and Chris Johnson on the base hits. Swing and a miss. Struck him out.
No chance right there for Pence. You know, he's been looking at 98-mile-an-hour fastballs, and in a 3-2 count, Daniel Bard drops the slider on him. Not a strike, but Pence could not stay off him.
One out here in the 7th inning. Carlos Lee, the batter. Dennis Reyes went an inning, giving up a hit. No runs, no walks, no strikeouts after 5 shutout innings from Beckett. Inning for Reyes. Now Bard working in the 7th. Lee takes ball 2. He's grounded out to first and lined out to center 0 for 2. Late, a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, and fouls it off.
It's a good idea right there. You know, 2 balls, no strikes. Usually hitters are in front of that fastball when it's in their favor. Not the case there. Lee fouling it off down the first baseline.
Right back at him and into center field. That time he was on the 98-mile-an-hour fastball. It's a 1-out single for Carlos Lee.
Quickened it up a little bit on the 2-1 count. Got the fastball again from Daniel Bard and takes it up the middle for the base hit. That'll be the night for Lee.
Jason Michaels pinch running at first base. Brett Wallace getting his 3rd at bat of the night. Was grounded out and last time reached on an infield hit. Only hit off Josh Beckett in 5 innings. 1-0 is on the outside corner. In the dirt, Saltalamacchia able to knock it down. No advance from Michaels at first base. In the air to center. Ellsbury coming in. 2 down.
First changeup that Bard has featured in the game tonight and gets the good result. The fly ball is center field. So we've seen all of his pitches, his fastball, his slider, and now the change.
Two down. Michaels at first and Bill Hall, the batter. Facing his old team here tonight. He's gone 0 for 2. Strike 1. Struck out in the 2nd inning. Lined into an inning-ending double play in the 5th. 179 spring for Hall. He's late, fouling it off to the right, 0-2. to the right again. Saltalamacchia giving chase, but well back into the seats. He's outside with the runner going. Michaels will just take second.
Red Sox not holding him on, of course, with the big lead, 8-0. You see Gonzalez well behind Michaels at first base.
Ruled a defensive indifference. No stolen base on the play. .831 total games in the National League of the 904 Bill Hall has played, of course, in the Milwaukee Brewers, and now returning to the National League again, the Astros. Spent a little time with the Mariners, and of course all of last year in Boston. Takes the 2-2 for strike 3. The Astros strand the base runner through 7, 8-0 Red Sox. Proud sponsor of the Red Sox Foundation, helping to address health needs in our communities. It's 8-0. The Red Sox on top of the Astros as the Red Sox about hit the Astros 11-3. And Houston changing pitchers once again. The sixth pitcher for Brad Mills. The game is on. The right-hander, formerly of the Boston Red Sox, right-hander Brandon Lyon into the game. J.B. Shuck is in the game. He's in right field. And a new left fielder is Jason Michaels, who had hit, or actually run for Carlos Lee in the inning. His second baseman now for the Astros as well. And Hernandez and Kobe Clemens takes over at first base. So it's on to the 8th. And it's Dustin Pedroia leads it off in the 8th. It's in the Brandon Lyon in the game now for Houston. It's the 8th appearance of the spring, 0-1, 6.43 ERA. 7 innings, 11 hits. Opponent sitting at .355 against him. 31-year-old signing as a free agent for the Astros. And second year now coming up with Houston. Remember the Red Sox back in 2003. Ground ball to Hernandez at second. One down in the 8th.
Now this game really has come down to 2 big innings for the Red Sox, and the biggest being the first inning where they got 5 runs. 3 more runs in the 4th. The Red Sox pitching have shut down the Houston Astros tonight.
McDonald batting for the first time, took over in the 7th inning for Carl Crawford in left field. Crawford had 2 hits in his hometown of Houston. He's 2 for 4 in the game. Fly ball foul off to the right, 1-1. Do you remember Kobe Clemens around when Roger was playing in Boston?
Yeah, he was a little bit smaller than he is right now.
In the year to shallow center. Bourgeois comes in, makes the catch. There's 2 down. Son of Roger Clemens at first base here.
What is the highest level that he's played at?
Looks like Double-A, Corpus Christi, a year ago.
Corpus Christi?
Yep. Primarily in A-ball prior to that. He has played 5 different defensive positions since becoming a professional. He's an 8th-round pick, the Astros in 2005. This is struck well to center field, but very big center field. Bourgeois with plenty of room. Makes the catch to retire the side. We head to the bottom of the 8th, 8-0 Red Sox. The Astros 11-3. The hits in the game for the Red Sox. We get ready for the bottom of the 8th. During every Red Sox spring training game on NESN, Jerry will answer a question from a fan. And tonight's question is, who do you think is the most underrated Red Sox player, Jerry?
You mean after spring training?
No, just in general, I think.
Underrated in general. Wow. I would have to say, I mean, you expect what we expect out of the starting players. I would say Dono McDonald is a very underrated player. If you're looking at the whole roster, I think he does a lot more than people think that he does. I don't know if that's a good answer or not, but I'm going to go with it.
But it's your answer, and it's Ask Jerry. And you're Jerry.
I'm Jerry, and that's how I'm going to answer it.
To send Jerry a question for Friday's game, go to NESN.com.
Now, that may change. That may all change, like a month into the season. So you might want to put that question back out there later.
We'll check back with you again.
Yeah.
Nate Spears is in the game at second base. Drew Sutton in the game at first base. Dan Butler is catching tonight for Jared Saltalamacchia. And the new pitcher is the closer, Jonathan Papelbon. This one is squib towards third base. Lowry, a run in time. 1 out in the 8th. Let's review Papelbon's numbers from the spring. This is his 8th appearance, 0-1, 10.50 ERA. A couple of tough outings at the end of spring training. Opponent's still only hitting at 190 against him. Jerry, we talked about it before. I really feel like he's got the toughest of all the situations as far as what he does during the regular season from an adrenaline standpoint. To replicate that in spring training is virtually impossible. Comes in the 5th inning of a lot of games. Even if you try to bring him in a 9th inning situation, which would be normal, he's coming in against A-ball and Double-A guys in spring training. So there's just no way to really make it happen unless he can do it kind of mentally and put himself there, but he works on so much emotion, I'd imagine it'd be pretty tough.
Well, one thing I've noticed this spring down in the games that we've done, and that's 13 of them this spring, is the fact that when he's come into games, he's used all of his pitches, and I think he's made a conscious effort to mix in the slider, the fastball, the splitter. For example, he had a slider in the first pitch up here to Johnson, followed up by the fastball. So I think what he's trying to do is refine all of his pitches regardless of what situation he's been in. And it's not just coming in with fastball after fastball. He's been working on the breaking ball, working on the split.
So kind of a veteran just working on stuff in spring training.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss, and it gets away briefly from Butler. He runs it down and then has to fire to first. Is Sutton for the out. A strikeout for Papelbon, 2 down.
Looked like that might have been the split that time from Papelbon. Gets away from Butler. Butler makes a good hustle play to get the out at first base.
Two down in the 8th. J.R. Tolles is lined out to third, flied out to right, 0 for 2. Pops it up. Left side of the infield, Lowry and Scutaro. Marco Scutaro puts it away. It's a 5-pitch 8th. Papelbon, 8-0. The Red Sox on top. NESN is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, New England Chevy dealers, Sylvania HD LCD TVs, Jordan's Furniture, and by Nissan. Top of the 9th inning at Minute Maid Park in Houston, where the Red Sox have an 8-0 advantage. Their final tune-up for the regular season. Oswaldo Navarro has taken over at third base for Chris Johnson. And the new pitcher for the Astros is Gustavo Chacin, the former Toronto Blue Jay. Chacin, 9 appearances during the spring, 1-1 with a 3.86 ERA. It's hitting a 2.57 against Chacin. I wonder if he still has his line of cologne that he had in Toronto back in his Toronto days.
That's true. I forgot about that. Might be popular down here in Houston.
– 13 games in Toronto in 2005. This one is sent foul off to the right. Out of play. Last year with the Astros, 2-2 and 44 appearances, all out of the pen. The starting games for the Jays: 13-9, 9-4. Lowry takes it outside. It's 2-1. Back to the screen, 2-2. Signed a minor league deal for this year, invited to Major League spring training. Second spring training with the Astros. Spent a lot of time at AAA last year. Started 18 games. Lowry fouls it off to the right, out of play. Jason Varitek has come out on deck with that in the DH spot. Swing and a miss. Lowry goes chasing the pitch away. One down. Let's check back in with Heidi.
Well, Don, every visiting clubhouse has their unique characteristics, and here at Minute Maid Park, it's no different. The visiting clubhouse manager, Steve Perry, has one of the most unique offices I've ever seen. His collection of bobbleheads is just amazing. He has more than 650 of them. I asked him how he acquired so many.
People have heard about it and sent them to me. Total strangers have sent them to me, but most of the equipment managers or traveling secretaries or PR people send them to me because they know I collect them and have them here, so they send them to me now.
The bobbleheads line shelves covering both walls. Perry grew up in Vermont, and he says he's a big Carl Yastrzemski fan, and he does have a Yaz bobblehead. He said the players always come in and check them out, and if they find their own bobblehead on his wall, they usually sign it for him. He's been the visiting clubhouse manager for 25 years and said he's gotten to meet some pretty neat players. Don?
All right, Heidi, thanks very much. You know what he's missing in there, Jerry? I noticed. I looked at
the Don and Jerry bobbleheads.
No Don and Jerry bobblehead.
You could have signed them today.
Let's send one along. Not that it's about us, but...
Well, they really should be. Are they back on sale?
They're not. I have people all the time ask about it. I don't know how they're not back on sale. Varitek pinch hitting.
I mean, how many of those do you think we signed down in spring training?
1,000? 1,500?
I'd say, to be honest, I'd say about 25.
That's it? Maybe that's why they're not available anymore.
That's just in spring training. We're not even there every day. You think about
That's true, yeah.
I think those should go back on the website immediately, if not sooner.
Nesson.com. Send your complaint in now. 3-2 is up high and away. Ball 4 and Varitek down to first. We're so limited There are none available on eBay. They just checked the truck. Nothing available. Nobody's giving theirs up.
Not even on eBay?
You cannot get it.
A lot of them are autographed. I mean,
yes.
He autographed a bunch of them down in Florida, as I mentioned.
You only did 25. I did around 1,000. This is popped up, foul off third. Navarro by the dugout has no play. Neither does the guy in the red jacket. Rogers here tonight. Watching his son Kobe, who came in at first base. They'll be alongside. Kobe in the game at first base. A 1 to Mike Cameron. Fouled back to the screen, 0-2.
April 29th, 1986 was the year that Roger Clemens struck out 25 years ago.
Wow.
He struck out 20 at Fenway Park, and then, of course, did it again later on in his career against the Detroit Tigers. Mike Debbie to his left, or to his right.
Inside the ball 1-2 to Mike Cameron.
Somebody must have called him and told him he was on message.
Two is grounded foul. Jim White informs me, Jerry. Last bobbleheads that did go on eBay. That's what it went for.
I don't know, $1?
$7.
$7?
Yes.
How much could you buy them for originally?
I think 20.
They were $20?
I think so.
I think right now what they should do a whole new version of what we look like now.
Much different. It's all changed.
Everything's changed.
A lot. I mean, you've changed in the last 3 months.
It's amazing.
I mean, you've aged a lot.
Well, as I told you, it's a movie.
2-2 is high. Full count.
I've had people tweet, try to find out what kind of movie it's going to be and what movie it is, and I can't say right now. I can tell you this: it's not a big part.
It's got to be big enough for you to
have to change it.
Yes,
you have to change your appearance and appear older than what you really are, but it's not going to be a major part, believe me.
Things you've had to do to become much older. This is in the air to left center. Back Bourgeois shy of the track to make the catch, 2 down.
It's almost like the part is hard to describe it. It's going to be a little bit like yours when you were leaving the Dancing with the Stars or Dancing with the Young Stars. Or
I was on my way out.
When you were on your way out. It's going to be a part similar to that.
So you're in the background?
But I have to be, a little more forefront than that, but it's going to have to be a part where you recognize this older, decrepit, kind of human being going through a scene.
I just feel bad what you've had to go through to get to
it hasn't been easy.
No.
It has not been easy.
Dan Butler batting, 2 down here in the 9th. And swing and a miss for strike 1.
And Butler had a number of family and friends fly in to watch this ball game tonight. Tito wanted to make sure that he got him into the ball game here late in the game.
Signed by the Red Sox, non-drafted free agent. Drive to deep left field.
Get out.
It is out. A blast in the train tracks.
How about that? Good for him.
Two-run shot.
I told you, Don, he has a bunch of family and friends here to watch him. They flew all the way, I believe, from Arizona to come watch him play tonight. And what does he do? A 2-run home run. Good for him. Take a ride with the big club to Houston and take one out of the ballpark.
And 7 home runs between 3 different levels last year: Greenville, Salem, and Pawtucket. Both farmhands hitting at .310 a year ago. 3 different This one is up and away. 3 different spots last year: Greenville, Salem, and Pawtucket. In the air to right field. Shuck is over towards the line to make the catch. It ends the inning. A 2-run shot. Daniel Butler. Red Sox lead at 10-0.
It's time now for the Sylvania HD LCD TV defining play of the game. Jared Saltalamacchia knocking in a run back in the first inning. Saltalamacchia had 3 hits on the night. You must see Red Sox baseball in stunning high definition.
Last half of the 9th inning back at Minute Maid Park in Houston. Red Sox adding to their lead with 2 runs in the top half of the inning. Daniel Butler's 2-run shot. Blake Maxwell in the game for the Red Sox. A career high 11 wins between Salem, Portland, and Pawtucket last year. 3 different classifications this spring. He's had 2 appearances. 1-0 record. Not giving up a run in 2 innings of work. Opponent sitting at 143 against Blake Maxwell. He was a 40th round pick by the Red Sox in 2005. And into the game here tonight in Houston. Jason Bourgeois leading it off here for the Astros. Took over in the 6th inning for Michael Bourne out in center field. Jonathan Papelbon worked the 8th at a 1-2-3 inning. Tried the side in order. Inglet, Johnson, and Tolles, and ground out strikeout and a pop out. Red Sox pitching tonight has been stellar. 5 shutout from Beckett, an inning from Reyes shutout, Bard a shutout inning, and Papelbon a shutout inning. No hits. Nice way to wrap up the spring. All the way around, good pitching, plenty of offense. A good tune-up, final tune-up for the Red Sox. Maxwell off the hill. Fires hard to first for the out. For a seed. It's Sutton at first, and Bourgeois is out number 1.
He might have hurt Sutton on that throw. He had a little extra juice on it as he was moving toward first base. And from the side. Wow.
One down for Matt Downs. Downs with a half-hearted swing. Changed his mind in the middle. On the ground and quickly into left field. McDonald gets it back in, a 1-out single for Downs. 4th Astros hit of the night. Here's J.B. Shuck came into the game in right field. That's with 1 out and 1 on in the bottom of the 9th. Outside for ball 1. There's a strike, 1-1. Maxwell, the 5th Red Sox pitcher of the night. Fly ball to center field. 2 down. Jason Michaels. Pinch ran in the 7th inning for Carlos Lee. Got a .379 spring, 2 homers and 8 runs batted in. Hunter takes off at second. Defensive indifference. As Downs takes second. Ground ball foul. It's 1-1. Jason Michaels spent the last 2 years in Houston. Former Cleveland Indian, Philadelphia Philly. Briefly in Pittsburgh as well. It's outside for ball 2. Last year at 8 homers, 26 RBIs, .253 average in 106 games for the Astros. In the air to left. McDonald going back. He'll make the catch and the Red Sox win. Well, Red Sox, a great way to finish spring training. Lots of offense, great pitching as they combine to shut out the Astros and put together 10 runs to win this game tonight, 10-0. Beating the Astros 12-4. And up next is opening day in Texas. Once again, the final score 10-0 for Jerry Remy and Heidi Watney. I'm Don Orsillo saying good night from Houston, Texas. Join us again Friday for opening day 2011. Our live coverage begins at 2 o'clock with Red Sox first pitch. Red Sox open up the 2011 in Arlington against the Rangers. This has been a presentation of NESN, New England's most watched sports network. Coming up next, NESN Daily with Jade McCarthy. Jade?